Hello everyone, welcome to this demo on real-time data analytics using the power of Apache Storm and Apache Kafka. On the screen you're seeing the architecture that we guys are using for real-time data ingestion and visualization of data at the same time. Typically a user makes use of a graphical user interface to either enter XML or JSON data. This whole thing acts as our Kafka producer. The data is captured by Kafka, which in turn initiates the Kafka consumer process. Once the Kafka consumer process receives the data, the Storm topology kicks into action. We have a Kafka spout that reads the incoming data and then triggers a series of bolts where all the action takes place. We have an HDFS bolt that is responsible for writing the data over to HDFS, from where it is captured into Hive external tables that we guys are using for batch processing of data. On the other end, we have an HBase bolt that simultaneously writes the data to HBase, which is then queried by Phoenix by using an SQL interface, and ultimately from Hive and Phoenix that data is being visualized in Zeppelin, where you can have all the data visualizations in place. Let me show you how things are being done in the background. Here you can see our Ambari UI, where we have all the information related to HDFS. We have a 4-node cluster in place. Storm looks to be running in good shape, and then Kafka also is running in a good state. This is our Storm UI that typically talks about the cluster summary and the various topologies that have been submitted to it. Currently there is no topology that has been submitted. This is our graphical user interface from where the user can either enter the data manually, or he's free to either upload data through various files. And finally, this is the Zeppelin UI that will enable us to have visualizations on the go over the data that is being pushed into our Storm topology. So let us go and try to push some data over it. Here I have on the screen the Kafka consumer process, which I'm going to initiate so that we can see that the data is being captured by Kafka on real time. This is the Phoenix shell where I'm going to create a view over the tables that are created in HBase. This is the HBase shell. I have actually issued the command list so that you can see that there is no new table by the name of books which is currently existing. And ultimately this is the place from where I'm going to initiate my Storm processing. We have a jar in place which is going to trigger our Storm topology. This is the command to submit the jar. Here you can see that our topology has been successfully submitted. Let us go on to the Storm UI and see if the topology turns up. Here we go. We can see that a new topology by the name of data ingestion has been submitted, which has got the information about all the spouts and the bolts that we have in place. Let me give you a visualization of this. The blue circle is our Kafka spout, and the green ones are the actions or the bolts that we have into our topology. Now let me go and push some data manually into our UI. I'm copying a JSON string and I'm going to feed this into our message box from where I can enter the data manually. Once I press submit, there is a pop-up which says that the message has been successfully published to Kafka. Let us go and see in the Kafka consumer process if the data has arrived or not. Yes, the data has been captured by Kafka, and you can see in the consumer process that the same string appears over here. Let us go and check if the data has been written in HDFS or not. I'm going to issue this command that is going to tell me if the data has been written onto HDFS or not. It's a simple list command. Here you can see that there is a file that has been created in HDFS. Let me go and check in HBase that if there is a table by the name of books which has been created. Yes, there is a new table by the name of books, which is actually our table which is containing the data that we have pushed. Let me go and scan this for you. Here on the screen you can see the various values that were a part of the data which we pushed. To see this data in Zeppelin, let me go and create a view over the HBase table using Phoenix. I'm creating a view by the name of test view. The view has been created successfully. Let us go to our Zeppelin UI. To use Phoenix interpreter, I can simply connect to Phoenix like this, and then I can issue a query so as over Phoenix interpreter so as to see the data. If the data has been received, we will be able to see the data over here. Bingo. The data that we entered through our UI has made its way in Zeppelin. Now let me go and push some more data for you guys and see if all this is happening in real time. Let me take all rows and push it into our Kafka, and we'll see each console so as to see the different stages. Let's press submit. The data has been published to Kafka. Let's see if Kafka has received this. Yes, Kafka has received this. Let's see if HBase have received this. Currently we have 1 row of data. I'm going to scan books again. We have 11 rows of data now, and ultimately let's go to Zeppelin and see if the new data has arrived. Yes, the new data has arrived in Zeppelin. Let me show you a simple visualization that we can do in Zeppelin. I'm going to select certain fields. I have selected the author and price. Just by simply clicking this, you can see that our data has arrived, and this is typically a basic visualization over that. You have graphs, you have charts, you have different type of visualizations in Zeppelin that can help you to see the data on the go. Now let me upload a file in our UI and see if that data arrives. I'm going to choose a file over here. I'm going to take an XML data this time. You can see that it's an XML. I'm going to open this and I'm going to press upload. The message has been successfully published to Kafka. Let's go and check our Kafka console if any new data has come. You can see that the entire XML data has arrived in the Kafka consumer process. Let me go and scan HBase. There are currently 11 rows. Yes, the data has made its way to HBase. Now there are 23 rows. And let me go and issue a query in Zeppelin just to see if the new data has arrived or not. Let me do a count operation itself over here. Yes, the same count matches. So guys, this was a short introduction to real-time data analytics with Apache Storm and Kafka. Here you can see initially the numbers were 0, but now the data has been flowing through various spouts and bolts. So this is how you can achieve data ingestion and visualization just by simply uploading data to our UI and then ultimately have the visualizations in Zeppelin on the go.